Hi, I wanted to pop on and show you these washi tapes from Pinkfresh Studio. They've come out with these washi tapes for a number of their collections. They coordinate with the stamps, stencils, and dies that they release. And they work perfectly, like I said, with them, or you can use them independently. I like to use them with the dies because I just find them very convenient rather than having to fussy cut them out, but you could fussy cut. Here, you take the washi tape, and I use a piece of paper that is slightly larger than 4 inches wide because the washi tape is 4 inches, and I find if it's cut slightly larger, it gives me a little bit of wiggle room, and I don't have to be quite so precise when I'm putting the tape down about worrying about it hanging over the edges or anything. So I just pull out the tape and I place it on the thing and on the paper, and I do this until I get to the point where the pattern starts to repeat. Then I will just cut it up. I find it's easier to cut it as I place it on the paper, although it's just personal preference really, but I find it's easier than trying to manage the washi tape if it's not adhered to anything. And you don't really have to worry because washi tape seems to have this unique ability to remain tacky no matter how many times you lift it up off the paper. So here you can see I just trim it off where the pattern starts to repeat and where the die would start again. And then you can just straighten it out. As I said, you can lift up any part of the washi tape that you need if you need to get out any wrinkles or creases, or if there's any air bubbles, to make sure that you have a perfectly smooth application of the washi tape. And then you're ready for the die. When I am putting the die on, what I like to do is line it up and try to get it so that there's a fairly even white space all the way around. I find it's easier to do that if you pick a few key spots on the die and try to make sure, near the top and near the bottom and maybe one of the sides, to make sure that they all have relatively even white space around it. Once I'm happy with the placement, I will take some repositionable tape and tape it down in a few places to make sure that the die doesn't shift while I run it through my die cutting machine. I find for my die cutting machine that I don't need to do anything extra. The same kind of sandwich that I would use to run it through with just a thin wafer die is all I need to run it through with the washi tape on it as well. I don't need any extra shims, and I don't need to take any plates or anything away. So here you can see I just run it through my die cut. I run it back again, although that's not really necessary. It's just kind of something I'm in the habit of doing because I often cut things off of very heavyweight watercolor paper. So I just kind of got in the habit of running it through twice to ensure it was cut. But it wasn't really necessary in this case. As you can see, the elements just come out on their own, and there you go. You have stunning embellishments and elements that you can use on your scrapbooking pages, your cards, your art journals, mini album, anything that you may want. They are beautiful, and with that roll you will get a lot of them to be able to use on a lot of different things. You can cut them apart, you can use them as they are. They're beautiful. Here's a couple of card examples of things that I have been working on using them, and I plan to make many more.